Good morning,
Days we
friends.
lives. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. We early here this morning. I guess not early for East Coasters, and I never realized that until I got here. It's my computer still has the time in Portland. It's 5:56. We have another hour before I would have jumped on, I believe. Yes.
Yep.
So how's everybody?
How are you, friends?
I don't even see us on here yet. Let me refresh my page.
It's up. I just shared it.
Somebody's up. Somebody says show some love. There it is. There it is. I'm gonna turn this on so I can see us over here. But yeah.
So we were
So
talking about Valentine's Day. John's talking
Valentine's,
about
happy
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day to all you beautiful people. Uh, First, before we get to Valentine's, I want to say a shout out to the crew that helped me celebrate my first Being You class here in where am I? Bloomingfield Hills, Michigan. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You showed me a bunch of love, and we changed some stuff on planet Earth. Uh, yeah, I got to do what I love, a bunch of SOP sessions. People gave me a compliment on my lips, thanks to Lila. Best stuff in the universe. But I'm in a hotel room waiting, have another call to go to the airport, go see my dear mom and dad, hang out with my brother, and hopefully see some friends. How does it get better than this? Happy Valentine's Day to you, Tori. When you see this, whoop whoop. Even though I gave her a card, so we're gonna jump onto that because it's gonna be short today because I have to get off of here at 9. I turned to a pumpkin this morning at 9:15. You guys know in Portland, I turned into a pumpkin at 7:30. Yeah, it would have been an hour and a half before we were on. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Damn, we early.
You're so goofy. I love
Yes,
it. I need that
I'm in another
because
energy
I
of
am not awake
creation.
yet.
Yeah, she was eating some. When you eat oatmeal,
I was eating oatmeal. The normal breakfast. The one time last week I didn't have oatmeal. I had impromptu beef stew.
yeah, a lot of times I eat breakfast stuff. I eat different things that's not breakfast. Breakfast C, I should say. I don't do that
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
Um,
I had leftover roast. I just scraped everything from the bowl into a pot, added more broth, and threw in some kale.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. That's
It was
easy.
so good. It
I
was
can't
so
wait to one day come visit you because sounds like you can throw down. And I don't like
come
I don't think
come visit. I'll feed
you
you.
like cooking.
I like cooking when people appreciate what I cook.
Hmm. See, I eat anything. I ain't no damn oatmeal. So if you do that shit, you're gonna lose me. I don't eat dairy and I can't eat wheat. I have some diet restrictions as I've
I will.
turned more mature. I'm like a bottle of fine wine. You don't want to shake it and put it in the light. You need to put it in the dark and lay it on the side.
Oh my gosh. I have so many thoughts that I probably can't say on Facebook. We'll save them for later.
Well, we're gonna talk about some shit in a second. So I hope we could say what you got to say because Facebook got to realize it's Valentine's Day, so it might be kind of spicy up in this motherfucker this morning.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, but first of all, happy Valentine's.
Happy
And
Valentine's.
it's two stories for the Valentines that I went and I've done a little research. It was a dude by the name of St. Valentine's, right? But there was a rumor that it was some inappropriateness to it. I don't know
Is he
how factual
Catholic?
this is, huh? Yeah, he's Catholic. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Carry on.
Uh, it's just we can talk about that too. But okay, so have you guys ever seen the heart shape Valentine's when you get it a card? You know, it's like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what your heart looks like? Your heart looks like this with these valves like this, and it, dum, 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 dum. Y'all understand that, right? That's what your heart really looked like. Well, dum, 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 dum. Not okay. I was told that was a booty. Like I have my George Clinton shirt on, Parliament Funkadelic. Y'all can see this. Motor Booty Affairs. Okay. Okay. It was a booty. Okay. And the rumor went that the dude did pass out Valentine's to make people better, but the Valentine's itself was actually some type of rumor of inappropriate anal stuff, which is not inappropriate if the person is willing and able, but if it's little boys
Consenting.
consenting, it's an issue. That's what I heard from that. Now I don't know how true or not true that is. You guys can go figure that out. And some people probably gonna get upset and all butt hurt, literally, that I brought this up. But but I do understand the concept of wishing people good deeds. I am down with that part of it. I think it's hard to be a person on this planet, and it's even easier when people start showing you some love. Like, I see you, you're special
Yeah,
today. I have a problem when we just use one day to make you special, though.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying? What would it look like if you were special every day?
That's a good question. I like that question.
And so that was one aspect of it that I picked up. And St. Valentine's, hey Linda, what's up? I just saw you. Sorry. And Jehoti, I know me and you talked for a long time.
GLT.
Jehoti, yes. I don't know if you're still there because it says zero. I don't know how this thing works sometimes, because sometimes you see 1, 2, 0, and then after I get off like 4 or 5 people, I'm like, what? Or people just pass by. But anyway, I hope it wasn't too. I hope I didn't lose anybody because I talked about maybe the real idea of Valentine's Day. But so, have you ever experienced, or that's kind of weird experience? Have you ever celebrated Valentine's Day?
Um, yeah, my ex is very big on Valentine's Day. Um, I was trying to remember. I was actually thinking last week, I'm glad I don't have to buy him anything because he's hard to shop for.
Wow.
This is the truth.
You,
The
you,
whole complete and unadulterated truth. I thought the same thing at Christmas. I'm like, I don't have to shop for him. He's hard to shop for because he's expensive.
you got taste.
He does have taste, but he is a tech person.
Yeah.
And so he like the things that I knew for sure without guessing and trying to figure out like what he wanted was like $1,000 computers and like it just things that were not in my budget.
Yeah.
Um and I'm not really a cologne person, so buying him cologne. I mean, he did smell good and it was great, but that's not really my jam. Like you can
You
smell
don't.
like soap and all of you.
Wait. You don't like men wearing cologne?
It's not that I don't like it. I've had allergies for a very long time,
Okay.
and the fragrance would aggravate it.
Yeah.
Um,
What about
but
essential oils?
yes, all the oils. Before he and I moved in together, I guess there was enough of like the scent like decreasing that by the time he got to my house, I was like, oh my God, he smells so good. But when I got to experience like the cloud of cologne that got him to, oh my God, he smells so good, I was just like, achoo. Um,
Yeah.
but I wasn't real big on trying to find cologne for him because he already had cologne that smelled great. He wanted a Rolex. Can we talk
Oh
about
wow.
how expensive those are?
Yeah.
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 Um, so it was just a challenge to buy things for him because what he wanted that he wasn't already buying for himself was like way up here. I had to get creative a lot.
Wow.
And I did, and it was fine. But I don't think I'm trying to think about Valentine's Day with my ex husband. Don't remember.
Mm.
I don't remember like giving or receiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because the whole concept for me, I just finished this class of being you, and giving is one aspect, but gifting and receiving is another whole thing dynamic. We talked about that. And uh if Valentine's Day was the start of the beginning of the year, that people were in the mode of gifting and receiving the entire year, that would be dope. But we do one day. And then what it also creates, the what I don't like what it creates for Valentine's Day is that people don't feel special if they're not seen or they don't get a card. I mean, and at school that used to trip me out. Everybody's hoping you bring them Valentine's, that little cheap ass Valentine's Day card your mom about them cheap ass pieces of candy. It was just pretty much pressed sugar.
It's
Uh,
candy though.
Ugh, it wasn't the greatest. 'Cause see, I'm a C's candy. If I'm gonna go buy some candy, or I'm like I can't really eat all that dairy stuff anymore. So I'm actually getting to like specialty candies. Like for Valentine's Day, before I left, I knew I was gonna be gone. So I went to the store and I bought Tori this coconut caramels, everything coconut, start made with coconut cream. But I like the concept of one day of saying you're special, but I believe that should last throughout the year. And I don't like when people get like all like there's people who are gonna be major, major, major butt hurt today because they don't have somebody to celebrate them.
Or
And
depressed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my invitation for anybody who might be watching this,
uh,
who's in that space, celebrate yourself.
yeah. Celebrate you for who you be. You know, it's like I talked about vulnerability, and most people think vulnerability is about another person. Vulnerability is about you being open to awareness and uh, creating space, you know. And I think a lot of people are looking for people to complete them. There was, not to call out any names in my class, there was some people who actually were looking for people to make them complete. And the secret of it all on Valentine's Day is you already are complete. And if somebody doesn't see you, maybe they don't have the eyeballs to see you. That's the thing that I thought was kind of interesting.
And as someone who often feels unseen, the question that comes up for me is, do you see you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the real important piece about are you willing to see you on this day? Lover's Day, the best lover you will ever have is you. Real talk. The first lover is actually you upon you. And a lot of it also go back, sister. I found out after doing some of these consciousness classes and talking to people is the setup that people have gotten from what they received or not received appropriately from their parents, their mom, their dad.
And it's bigger than we think. I was reading What Happened to You, the new Oprah book with Dr. Bruce Perry.
Hmm.
And he talks about if an infant, so you got two kiddos,
Right.
they're both 12 years old. One was neglected and abused for the first 2 months of life, and for the next 12 years had a fantastic life. The other one was loved and cared about for the first 2 months of life, but then for the next 11 and a half years, things were shit. The child who was neglected and abused for the first 2 months has a harder time than the child who was loved for the first 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is just wild to
Yeah.
me.
And here's the other piece about it that Valentine's Day, I hope it doesn't bring up, but if it does, y'all, let it go. Or find somebody you could talk to. Is the shaming of that if that happens to you. See,
Yeah. The thing that I'd been thinking about as I listened to the book was like, okay, so now what? It felt almost like Chris Rock's Good Hair, where
yeah,
like he tells you everything that's wrong with the black hair industry and then is like, go be natural. Listen, this is not an easy party as somebody with natural hair. This is not an easy party. I keep it cut because this is the easiest thing to do to my hair. But the same thing is true with like when you've had trauma and when you've had interesting things happen in your childhood,
yeah.
you like do what you need to do to take care of you. Get your bars run, go to
Mhm.
therapy, have an SOP session with John, come
Thank you.
come have some energy work with me. Like whatever it is that you need to do to unwind and unravel that. And it is not an easy process. It's not a slow, well, I won't say it's not easy. It's not always a fast process. I have been unpeeling some of these layers of this onion for 25 years. I have a lot of experiences and conversations with John where I'm like, "Pfft." And it's because I've been looking at this and looking at this and looking at this, and there's another piece of the puzzle. And I don't want to discourage you by saying it can take a while. I'm hoping that that encourages you to keep going
Yeah.
because it really can take a while, but you get it when you get it. And when you get it, mm,
Boom. Like boom,
yeah,
chakalaka.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, and that's the piece that I always say when I usually close my cooking show, be kind to you and others, because we don't know. Uh, the more I do these classes, people of all, I don't care how much money you got, what race you come from, people come into this place with a lot of shit. I I even had the assumption that I think that as times have changed, you become aware of other people's shit. And the media was such a criminal of displaying only certain people having a certain experience. Like, here's I know there's people like, why are you going on Valentine's Day with this? Because this is some stuff that heart for people. So when I was coming up, there's a story of a lovely lady. Well, that lovely lady had 3 kids, and this other dude had 3 kids, and they might have made somebody die. But real talk, in America, 2/3 of relationships end up divorced. They might have been together. Plus, no dig or anything, because I'm open to everything. The real father was actually not the real father. The father acting was gay, which was another complex that nobody really, because he couldn't be seen because we're not willing to see people who for they be, because we have this facade. And that was
Mm,
the white story over here. Where's my phone?
mm-hmm,
Over here. The black story that came on later on that evening was Good Times.
mm,
And Good Times was a family that was living in the projects, and they never had a good time of moving out the projects. And James Evans, the guy who played the father, left because he was like, if these are good times, shouldn't I got a job. I'm moved up in my job. Show us moving into here's a story at neighborhood. But
mm,
that's because of this control piece. And that's why I'm like, my main message for people on Valentine's Day, do you, boo. Be
yeah,
kind to you. Because a lot of this commercial stuff they selling is actually taking you out of choice and knowing who you are, how special you are,
yeah.
you know. And that's like I really agreed with St. Valentine's. And then when I found out this stuff about the heart shape, I was like, oh shit. But it makes sense. And here's the other piece too. I don't agree with that type of behavior, especially if you abuse kids at all or people, period. But judgment of it don't change nothing. It's like educating people so they have and loving up on people so they don't become the victim. So you can't do something to somebody that's already prepared. If you got a raincoat and an
Amen.
umbrella, you're not gonna get wet as the person who walked out the house without that. So
Yeah.
where's the responsibility come of loving your children up? So when that predator shows up, they know who and even aware being and parents and family members being aware of the predator that you call your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your mama, your daddy, your granddaddy, and grandmama.
Oh, that is a future topic.
Yeah, that's real loving.
A hundred
Stay
percent.
aware. Don't close down for anything because you might find something. But
Yeah.
anyway, y'all, I think I'm turning to pumpkin because I gotta go jump on the car, see my phone. I see the Russian family calling me like, "Hey, we got a meeting now."
I love
What you
it.
got coming up anytime soon? What are you teaching?
Teaching a class on burnout with my friend I Brandy. Just hang out and the information will be out there. It's gonna
Yeah.
be March 5th though.
Uh, this weekend, I got SOP taster free. Gotta go. It's Russian, but I'm speaking English, and it's an interpreter, so you can actually take a part of that. But you have to go to www.beingjohnasher.com. There's still spaces left and available right after that class. I'm doing How to Be Money workbook. Y'all, it's on fire. We have a Telegram group. We're jumping in. We're talking about stocks and bonds. We're talking about being wealth. Today's the word of the day is opulence. Ooh, I didn't know what that was, so I looked that up and I was like, ooh, wealth. Yes. So come join us
I
and come
love
back
it.
next Monday. We'll be back on the same bat channel. Bat time will be back at 7 a.m. PST. I hope you have
Yes.
a wonderful celebration of loving up on you. Peace and blessings, y'all.
Bye, everybody.